It's your boy El Lobo back in the building, YouTube's #1 hype man. I'm here to drop wisdom, life advice, and all of the above here on this channel. Today is a little bit more of a serious topic. Today's topic is going to be about street racing. I know a lot of you guys get the adrenaline rush. You see a lot of YouTubers whipping by, zooming by, and I'm just telling you guys right now that is not the hobby, the hobby that you want, the pastime that you want. Because I believe, if I'm not mistaken, there have been 2 YouTubers within the same month that have passed away. Speaking of, gotta speed up just a little bit so I can make the merge here. You know, people in New York, they could drive kind of hectic, you know. So there have been 2 YouTubers who have passed away, okay, in this month alone. And it is just so shocking to see. I know you guys see these influencers and these YouTubers, and they're doing the takeovers, right? So they're drifting around in donuts in the intersection, skidding around. So they always show you when it goes right, but I don't know if you guys have seen the videos of when it goes wrong. There are a lot of people who are becoming unalived because of this activity, just doing donuts in the middle of an intersection, you know. And you guys gotta, one, just not do it in general, because there are so many innocent bystanders in that circle when you're doing the takeover. It's very difficult, especially at night, to see if someone's dressed in all black and you doing a drift or a donut. I have seen countless videos of people getting hit, people getting unalive, people breaking bones, people getting hurt. So we gotta just cancel the takeovers. I mean, honestly, it was a thing in 2020, and that's really when it got created, honestly. But back in my day, I remember going to, you know, the car meets before takeovers. This was probably in the year 2010 when I had my 2010 Dodge Challenger RT. You would go to a car meet. Everyone would be parked up in the parking lot, respectful, quiet. Everybody would be checking out each other's builds, you know, checking out the engine bay, seeing what's going on, or checking out the customization within the vehicle, you know. And then as time went on, you know, people get busy, life matures, and, you know, you don't really have that much time, you know, to just jump back into the car community like that. But I feel like the newer and younger generation who have grown up with these takeovers just see it as normal, you know. So coming from, you know, growing up in the 90s, early 2000s, and so on, just coming from car meets that were calm to see what they have turned into. It was always like that one person that would do that one wheel peel out, you know, and then they would be like, oh, get this guy out of here, you know, because it's like we're not trying to get, you know, any kind of negative attention, because really, hold on one second, gotta concentrate here, because really it was just about the builds, like I said before, the customization. And then anytime someone tried to do a little burnout, it was like, get this guy out of here. And another thing I will say is that in growing up in the 90s and being at these car meets, these cars are way too overpowered for any kind of takeover, for any kind of street race. I remember if you were pushing, what, 400, maybe 500, like if you were in the 300 range, 300 horsepower range, basically being a young 20-year-old, you had a respectable build. It was like, yo, like this guy moving. And then 400, 500, forget about it. Like you were like the Zeus, you know. You were Zeus among, you know, in the car community, a local car community. But I'm gonna say this again, these cars are way too overpowered. And let's not even talk about if it's, you know, front wheel drive or wheel drive, you know what I mean? Because you think that over time, and it even happens with me from time to time, when you have your Hellcat or when you have your high-powered vehicle, you get used to the car, you think I got it, but really you always have to respect your car at all times, because there could be a weather condition, there can be an oil slick, anything can go wrong. So you just don't want to endanger the lives of yourself, endanger your life, endanger the life of people around you, you know. But what I'm gonna do is, let's cut to a clip of a takeover that happened recently that ended fatally with a white Chrysler 300 in the Bronx area. This was a big story in my area. So we're gonna cut to that clip. It's gonna be a few seconds, and then we're gonna jump right back in. Guys just saw the clip with the Chrysler 300, and again, what's different about this Chrysler 300 is that it's very, very high powered. Okay, they did an engine swap, which is basically taking the old engine out and putting a new engine in, but they put the quote-unquote Hellcat engine in this vehicle. Okay, so standard for a Hellcat engine is the lowest tier for a Hellcat engine is 707 horsepower. Ooh, I'm gonna let this guy go. Is 707 horsepower. Okay, and with that being said, that is a tremendous amount of horsepower. Waving to my neighbor. And with that being said, that's a tremendous amount of horsepower. Okay, with all of that horsepower going to the rear wheels, this white Chrysler 300 had a complete full accident that ended fatally. Okay, so with it ending fatally, you know, there is a lot of people that have been affected by this situation. Okay, and with these people affected by this situation, it's the individual's friends, family. Okay, there were people that were riding in the back of this car that were innocent bystanders, you know. So they got in the car, and I believe the two people that were in the back of the car were 15 and 16. They were two young females, and the adult that was in the driver's seat, I believe, was just 21 years old. So with that being said, this car, way too overpowered with the engine swap, all that power going to the rear wheels. And then again, also it happened in January, and the roads are very icy, right? So with the roads being icy, with the dangers of everything going on, they had a fatal accident in, I believe they were drag racing down the roadway, and then crashed into a truck and then became unalived. Okay, so we all have to be very careful about these takeovers, because it started at a takeover. You saw in the clip how it looked like fun. Everyone's hanging out the window. That was, especially in my generation, it was completely unheard of, in which, you know, you would be in a situation like that. It was, again, respect the build, you know, respect the car, you know, just respect everything about it, you know. And again, our cars were not that high powered, so we weren't doing 0 to 60 in 2 seconds, 3 seconds, you know. I mean, a lot of these cars today are pushing 1,400 horsepower, 1,500 horsepower, which is basically double, from my perspective, double the power of a Hellcat. And the Hellcat is a ferocious speed demon type of vehicle, you know. So, and secondly, when it comes to the racing, another YouTuber, his name was 1Stock, I think at 1StockF30. He basically became unalived because he was street racing and his engine blew, causing all the fluids and oils to leak down below, hit his tires, and then he began to spin out and had an accident, which became extremely fatal. So what we need to do is we need to just take all of this energy and passion that we have for our vehicles to the track. This is another family that is completely destroyed. Friends that are, left behind, and again, it's just so sad to see because a lot of these guys are young guys. One Stock was 24 years old, and just knowing that he passed in this situation is just so saddening to see, because you could see the joy, you could see the light in his eyes when he would talk about, just everything about his vehicle. I remember he used to have, I think it was an Audi. He had an Audi before and then had a BMW, and the BMW is where is the car that he had the accident. And again, ladies and gentlemen, just we must just go back to that. Hey, if we're gonna do a car meet, let's do it respectfully. Let's not be crazy, shooting off fireworks out the window, honking the horn, drifting, going crazy. It's about bringing the car and having everybody check it out 2 miles an hour so everybody sees you. That's the quote from the old rap songs, you know what I'm saying? So what we really need to do is just come together and understand that if we're going to do it, take the time, even if it's far away, to head to the track. And when we head to the track, there are safety measures, because who knows, in these examples of people, getting into accidents, and getting hurt or even unalived, it's one of those things where, again, we can have those measures of safety. There was another YouTuber who passed. I believe he drove a Trackhawk, similar situation, very high-powered vehicle, and with that vehicle, the driver was unalived, and I think he was pushing like 1,500 horsepower, all the power going to the rear wheels. And again, it's just safety is a real issue in the car community, because you can't chase numbers, you can't chase clout at the expense of your life, because it's not worth it, because again, these takeovers, everything that goes on with these, car meets nowadays is extremely dangerous. So just take that time, take it to the track, because at the track, there are safety measures in place, where, an ambulance will be there, you know what I'm saying? And basically, if something goes wrong, they can immediately assess the situation, as opposed to, I don't know, if all of you are from New York City, but in waiting, for, ambulance or police to arrive, it does take a few minutes. And those few minutes are crucial minutes that can, be between a matter of if you are going to be alive, So, ladies and gentlemen, let's keep it on the track. Let's just be safe in these cars. Let's admire these cars, but let's not let it be at the expense of our lives. You know what I'm saying? Because these young guys had their whole lives ahead of them, and now it has been cut short because of the safety measures that weren't put in place for their hobby. You know what I'm saying? Because everyone has hobbies and there are dangers, but realistically speaking, high-powered vehicles not on the track will end in a very bad way. That's really, what it is. And just have the cognizance. If you are a new, if you're getting that first, Mustang, Camaro, what import vehicle, whatever it is, or Dodge Challenger, Charger, whatever it is, because you see it on Instagram, Twitter, all these websites. Just take the time to know that there is such importance in saying, you know what, I have this new car, let me take it easy. Because let's say you don't get unalived in street racing if you are caught by the police, because I know everyone out, in these that's watching my videos also watches Squeeze Benz, who is a street racer who's weaving in and out of traffic at 100 miles an hour. And it's like, yeah, it's thrilling to see, but it's at the expense of all of the lives that he's passing by when he's driving. So it's just not worth it to, put yourself in danger. And understand, even if you aren't unalive, to my original point, your car can get confiscated. And then if your car is confiscated, that goes on your record, right? And then in addition, your insurance goes up. You know what I'm saying? So there's a laundry list of things that happen on the back end that nobody talks about, where it's like, okay, you get your car confiscated and basically you're arrested by the police, because I believe anything over 80, no, anything over like 80 to 100 miles an hour or something like that is a felony. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, wow, like there is a true responsibility when it comes to driving. And if you are caught, that insurance premium is going to go through the roof. And then it's like, okay, just for that 30 seconds, years of my life will be affected. And that's what we have to start thinking about in the car community, where it's like, is it worth my life? Is it worth, just the effect that it has on family and friends? Is it, one of those things where we have, a meeting, just coming together and understanding, what happens in these situations? Is it at the financial cost? Is it worth it, my people? So just understand, be safe out there when you're, trying to do these activities. Keep it cool, calm, and collective. If you are outside of the track, just no racing. If you are outside of the track, no takeovers, no shooting the fireworks and honking, going crazy. No, can't do that. Let's just keep that in the past and let it be a 2020 thing and look back at it and say, you know what, we did that for a time, and then move forward in a classy way. Because in that classy way, we're going to stay alive, stay financially sound, not harm friends and family or strangers that may be spectating. There are a lot of young people, 16, 17, 18, that come to this because they look up to the people that are racing. And to see these YouTubers, these influencers just becoming unalived. 1Stock, I think it's Slow Hawk as well. It's just within a few weeks of each other, so let's just, focus on what's important and the admiration and the beauty of these cars, the art of the car, the history of the car. We all have that, especially in the car community, we all have that love for cars. We all have that love where it's like, man, like, look at this car, and in that, just have a respect for what you have, and know that if you keep it cool, calm, and collective, you're going to live to see another day. You're going to live to be in a situation where it's like, you know what? Even though that guy was talking mess, I'm able to live another day. Just like, in Friday, when Craig took out, the ratchet, what I'm saying? When he took out the pew pew, his dad was talking to him. He's like, listen, like, go into that fight so you can live to fight another day. You know what I mean? And that message truly resonates, because it's like, just because someone talks smack or says, oh, your car's slow, or you this, you ain't fast, you don't need to show them that you're fast. That's one of the major things. You don't need to show that you fast. Your car's fast. Comparatively to early 2000s, 1990, 1980, there were cars that were pushing 200, maybe barely 300 horsepower in the 80s, 70s, barely. And it was like, man, this car is off the walls. It's bananas, right? So know and understand that everything is relative and everything is perspective, okay? So yes, these cars today, even the slow sedans, are fast comparatively to, previous generations. So just have a respect for your cars, respect for the community, respect for life, respect for friends, respect for family, respect for the spectators. And you already know, ladies and gentlemen, go throughout your day with power, strength, intellect, and safety, my people. It's your boy El Lobo. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and you already know, my people, if you made it to this point in the video, please put some prayer hands down in the comments below, and I'm going to see you in the next one.